how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do.
I mean, ladies, maybe fellas, I'm not going to judge. You've done less than that and gotten less in return from fellas, right? Like, has a random guy ever just hit you with his on the thigh and gave you $20 for it? Hashtag yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Crown Peach Show. I'm your host, Chris, and today I have with me comedian Dick Salas.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
I'm excited to have him here because although I've seen him all over Instagram and I have friends that know him, I don't. So I'm excited to get to know him today with you guys. So, besides comedian, what else can you tell me about you?
Let's see. So, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Did 8 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did 8 years in the Marine Corps. I'm also a musician, actor, director, producer.
Wow.
Yeah. So
many hats.
Many.
Which one's your favorite, though?
Comedy.
Comedy?
Comedy really is my favorite. Number 2 would be music, though.
Okay.
Yeah, so
both on stage.
Yeah, I like being on stage in front of a crowd. You know, I did the math the other day, and I've had a microphone in my hand more often in my life than I haven't.
Really?
Yeah. So.
How long? How many years?
I've been performing since I was 12.
That's interesting. Okay, so what were you doing at 12?
Music. Up until about 5 years ago, it's been nothing but music.
Okay.
And movies and.
What kind of music?
I started off with hip hop.
Okay.
Originally, I started off rapping, and I was a part of a little rap group for a bit growing up, from like 12 to 15, and then started transitioning into different other music like rock, metal, reggae, punk, classic rock.
Which one's your favorite to perform? How about that? Which one's your favorite to perform?
To perform, I guess music, it would have to be either hip hop or like a hard rock, heavy metal style.
Like headbanging stuff? Like,
yeah. Well, music took me it did great for me. I was the lead singer for one of the house bands at the Whiskey A Go-Go for a couple years.
Oh, that's awesome.
In my early 20s. So that was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bet you have stories for days.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, we're going to get into those.
Oh
we're
yeah.
Gonna get
I got
into
a lot
those.
of stories of those. So.
Okay, so let's back it up really quick. Where did you grow up?
East Los Angeles, California.
Nice.
Yeah,
what was that like? What was your childhood like?
Typical, I guess. Well, it's typical and not typical ghetto story. I grew up in East LA, and the difference with me was I went to private school.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't go to public school up until junior high.
Wow.
And so I got a very good quality education growing up, and like the typical kid from the inner city, I didn't appreciate it, and I acted up.
Yeah.
And I just thought I was smarter than everybody else.
Don't we all at that age?
Oh yeah. I was a terrible child. I was. My mom, I'm sorry.
You heard that? You heard that here, Mom K.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mom, I'm sorry. Yeah. I deserved all the ass whoopings. So, but yeah. So that was my life growing up was school, and then I grew up in a very gang infested area, so I always had to deal with that.
So you were in a gang infested area, but you went to private school in elementary.
Up until about 7th grade, I think.
Okay.
And that was the first time I went to a public school because, again, I was acting up and I got kicked out. And the only school that would take me was a public school at the time because it was midway through the year. And it was a school that we lived in the district.
Yeah.
So I had to go there, and it was a shock.
I bet.
Oh, man. I found out I wasn't the baddest dude, But I did find out the difference in the education system. Because when I went, I was shocked that some of my peers couldn't read.
In 7th grade?
In 7th grade.
Yeah, because they were falling through the cracks, right?
Yeah, like literally, I had a friend who, if you could give him a Dr. Seuss book, and he would have struggled.
That is sad.
It was that bad.
Now, do you think that's because the ratio of student to teachers in the public schools, or just the quality of education that they're handed out to the children?
I think it's more of the second. The quality of education.
Like the curriculum, right?
Yeah, the curriculum itself. And the way how the school system is structured here in America. Yeah. If you look back to the inception of it, it's more of a factory-based, conveyor-based. Like,
exactly.
It's that's why the desks are organized. That's why you have to raise your hand for permission. You have to, everything they're teaching you to go into the workforce. They're not preparing you for life.
Nope, they're not.
So, but
I love that you say that, and I love that you see that as well.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a mom thing that we see, you know, because we're the ones at home in the trenches with our kids, you know what I mean? But you're completely right. They're not grooming them for life. They're grooming them just to go into the workforce, into an office, into a desk.
Yeah,
you know?
they don't want people with their own opinions. They want
their own
people that
thoughts.
share opinions. Because it's easier to control groups versus people.
So you feel you got a different and a better education at the private schools, correct?
Yes, I did, because at least in the private schools, you can still have an opinion. Even if it's anti whatever it is that the school believes, as long as you are able to convey it in a way that makes logical sense.
You can explain yourself.
Yeah.
And the only way to learn how to explain yourself is by practice, trial and error, you know?
Words mean something, and you should be allowed to make mistakes.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and the problem with today's world is it doesn't seem like you're allowed to anymore. You make one mistake and now they want to cancel you.
You're chastised forever. Yeah, exactly.
Which people have tried to cancel me, and I'm just like, look, I got debt. You can cancel that. You know, I don't got a Netflix special. I don't got a Hulu special. Yeah. I got a shit ton of debt. So if you guys want to cancel my debt, hashtag cancel Dick.
And mine too. Okay, so 7th grade, shell shock. Now you're in a public school.
Yeah.
What was that like amongst your peers?
It was different for me. You're taking me back. It was different because for the first time, I grew up fighting a lot. So, you know, you can't be in the areas like Boyle Heights, East LA that I'm from and not have to deal with fights.
Yeah.
Even in a public school, people would fight me because I went to public school. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because I read books. I was smart or whatever. I thought I was smart. So they would try to fight me for that. But when I went to public school, it was very different. Now I had to deal with more of the gang stuff. I had to deal, and I grew up with it because I had family that was involved in it.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, that's where my life kind of started to take a bit of a darker turn because I started to get involved with it myself. And then high school came along, and I didn't get any better. I wish I could say I got smarter. I didn't. I got dumber. And then it wasn't until about, I think, sophomore going into junior year was when faith, I developed the faith.
Yeah.
And the faith that my mom, I didn't say forced on me, but introduced me to was through the church. It was a Calvary Chapel in Montebello at the time. And that's where I was going to. And that changed my life. It really did. Changed my life for the better. And it got me back on the path.
On the track.
And then I ended up going into my college prep courses at my junior year in high school.
Wow.
And I was actually behind credits going into my junior year, and then I ended up graduating with a 3.7 GPA and 40 extra credits.
Nice.
So that's what I needed. And then music kept blooming for me at the time. I kept growing. And then I had a short stint with ministry myself during that time.
Okay.
But music kept calling my name. It kept calling my name, and it had such a allurement to me.
It kept presenting itself to you, huh?
Well, it spoke to my soul in a way that nothing else did.
Yeah, music can do that to you.
I think that's the one thing I give music over comedy, where music is universal. You don't have to know the words. There's like Japanese pop songs I have on my phone right now.
Yeah.
That or K-pop even. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bollywood. Like I have a lot of songs on my playlist that are Bollywood, and they're Arabic. There's Persian. I don't understand them at all, but I can feel them.
Right, and it's the same.
That's
with me.
the difference.
It's the same. Whereas with comedy, if you don't speak that language, you're not going to get the jokes.
If you don't have a funny bone.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So. And Google Translate can only do so much.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't have Google Translate in a comedy show. Like, what did he say?
Right? Because then it's going to be like, what I meant to say was the joke would be like, yeah, so the goat was like, you know, but then it's going to be like, you know, the goat, he went, bah, you know, and it's just like coming out now, all of a sudden, I'm into goats, and it's just, thank you, Google, I appreciate that.
Like, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
Now you've upset like a whole goat community.
Right.
You know what I mean?
PETA's going to come
They're trying to cancel you.
Which, again, cancel me, please, but not for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Make it worth it. Make it a big deal.
100%.
So music kept calling your name, and you answered the call.
I did. I answered the call, and then I ended up joining a band that was looking for a singer right when I graduated high school, going into college. I was like my first year in college, and I saw one of my buddies walked up to me in the quad of ELAC. Because that's when I went to college.
Yeah.
And I went to ELAC when the unofficial motto was "We lack at ELAC." That's when
horrible.
I went because now it looks nice. Like if you go to ELAC, it looks like
and ELAC for people that don't know what it is.
East Los Angeles College.
Yeah.
So if you look at pictures of it now, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, they spent, millions.
I went to the ATM to pull out some cash. From my peripherals, I noticed there was a guy, he was in a blanket. And then the blanket fell, and he was naked. What was weird, turned towards my direction, and when he looked in my direction, all I felt was this. He was black. What made this really fucked up is he saw my bank account, and he gave me $20. You know how much you have to question your life choices when a naked man that hit you with his gives you $20? What was really up was two things. Number one, those $20 got me to the comedy show. Number two, I think this is the one that I was like, I felt like I earned those $20.
Only wanna share with y'all like a bird have a bed for y'all.
So all in all, music is what kept calling your name.
Yeah.
And you responded.
I did. I responded because, like I said, it spoke to me in a way that nothing else ever did before. And what was interesting about how I joined the first major band, I guess, that I was in, I was at ELAC, I was at East Los Angeles College, like I was saying, and at the time it was just really... It was a terrible school at the time. Now it's so much better. I can say that because they have money. But Oscar de la Hoya didn't donate still. That's when I went, when he was still fighting, trying to make the money to donate.
Okay, he donated after you left.
He donated after I left. Yeah. He found that I left. So, but yeah.
They're like, he's gone. Okay, I'm coming over with the check.
Yeah. Dick left? Okay, cool. So, I remember I'm sitting down in the quad, and one of my buddies who I went to high school with walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, I remember you saying that you wanted to get into music again, and look, I found this number for these guys that are looking for a band. They're local.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me call them. So I called them, and it turns out they practice up the street from me. So I was like,
perfect.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let me go meet these guys.
Yeah.
I went to school with all of them.
Really?
At different points, we all went to school together.
Is it one of those things where like you just didn't know that you all were into music at the time?
So they all knew they were. Because they were a lot closer. Like they hung out more than I did with them, obviously. Yeah. But they didn't know I was into music that way. Right? So the next thing you know, we started jamming out. And then
what genre? So
it was like, imagine if Rage Against the Machine, Zeppelin, and Pantera all had a baby.
Oh.
Right. The name of the band was called Mind Delay. And our first practice, we wrote our first 3 songs together.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's how we knew we had something. And that was our demo. And then I think a year and a half later, 2 years later, that's when we became the house band.
That's cool. And you were the house band where again?
At the Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood.
Whiskey A Go-Go.
It's as of, I think,
famous.
I think still now it's the only venue inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And how long were you there performing?
2-3 years.
That is cool.
Like 2-3 years, something like that. I think we were. Yeah, 2-3 years.
Okay, so you were 2-3 years performing there. Were you with the band for 2-3 years?
Yeah,
as well?
I was with So Mind Delay, we were the house band there. So what that means is we were playing there like 8 to 12 times a month, and pretty much we were just on all the shows. And
nice.
It was fun. I remember the manager being really cool with her, the bookers, the security loved us. We had some great stories.
Yeah. Did you meet some really cool people there as well?
My favorite person. Okay, so I've met a lot of celebrities, but my favorite celebrity I ever met, he's the epitome of celebrities, and I swear if I ever meet you again, I'm going to kill myself right now. But Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yes.
I met Jack Nicholson.
Shut up.
And it was the dopest way ever how I met him. Like,
tell me.
Where I remember it's a show, right? And we're hanging out, and all of a sudden it's like in between bands where he comes in. I don't know if he timed it or if it just happenstance.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, he walks in and there's like the bands are changing out, and he screams out, "Jack is in the building." And he's walking around shaking people's hands. This is
Oh my
2005,
gosh.
2006, around there. So, he's taking pictures with people and he's going literally every single person he's talking to.
Wow.
He goes to both floors. He goes to the back of the kitchen. He's talking to the chefs. He's talking to the help. And here's where it got crazy, right? Because I'm back there in the kitchen because my buddies, they were working and we were trying to get food, obviously. So, and plus Jack Nicholson back
That's
there,
where I would
right?
have been too, in the kitchen.
Right? All the Mexicans are back there, so come on. So we're all back there, and then what I didn't know, okay, and if it gets me in trouble, sorry, Jack, I gave your secret out. But he had this necklace on. And all of a sudden, as he's talking to us, he's like, yeah, you want to take pictures. And he takes out a vial from his necklace, he unscrews it, and he just, line of Coke, right there. And he just offers me a bump. I don't do cocaine.
Yeah.
Never have done cocaine, not one time. But this is Jack Nicholson.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, wait a minute. But
This is Jack fucking Nicholson. You know what I mean?
What are you going to do?
The Joker. But that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
The Joker.
Mine would have been like red rum. That's where my mind went. You know what I mean?
Well, it went there, and then it went, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I was just like, hold on. I was like, if I do this, now am I a part of the Joker gang? Like, you know what I mean? Like, am I going to be Jokerized? Am I going to be like...
tribe? Are you in the Jack tribe?
Is this my smile from now on? Just...
Yeah.
Being that creepy guy, I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I would, but I'm sorry, I don't do cocaine. I appreciate it, though. Thank you. And my guitarist right there was the first. I got it. And he just fucking took it on. I was
took one for the team.
He took one for me, and thank you, bro. I appreciate it, because I still got the picture with Jack. But,
Nice.
But yeah, it was cool. So I met him. He was super dope. I met the guys from Cypress Hill, Be Real, Sendog. We played with them actually quite a few times.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
I got to smoke with Be Real. I don't know how many times at the Rainbow. The guy was always there, which was another club, West Hollywood. And Kat Von D, she's one of the nicest.
Oh,
people.
she's gorgeous.
Oh my God.
She's gorgeous. She's got something about her, you know what I mean?
So, she's, first off, when I met her, we talked for like 40 minutes. And we just happenstance, we were out in the night, and she was telling me about her tattoos, and I was showing her my one tattoo I have at the time. And she was like, yeah, where you guys from? And I'm like, East LA, She's like, that's where I learned her tattoo from. And she was telling me about the hood and her favorite taco place and stuff. And then she wanted to take pictures, right? Well, okay. I didn't expect her to be as tall as she was. And mind you,
And then I think she wears heels too as well.
yes,
Yeah.
and she wears tacones, not just heels.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't speak Spanish, heels are like this. Tacones are like this. You know what I mean? So
and platform.
yes. It was like she was hanging out with Austin Powers, which was crazy. And but what I didn't know is I asked. So I was trying to take a picture with her.
Yeah.
And she's so tall, and I misjudged, and I was drinking that I accidentally put my hand on her ass. And, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but you didn't pull away, so I was like. When I smiled, I was like,
You just
oh my
rested
God.
your hand there.
Oh my God, I was like, because if I move, then it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's like I planned
You
it, but I was
can't
like,
move.
oh, it's just that. So I froze, like.
Yeah, you can't move because then it's creepy. You're rubbing it at that point. Yeah, you can't rub.
I did not do that.
You
I did
can't
not
rub the cat's booty.
No, not without permission. You're
Yeah,
gonna get the claws.
Exactly.
And, I didn't want to get
No, she's badass.
She was so awesome. Like this is at the height of her. Like when she was just. I mean, still to this day, one of the nice people I ever met.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. I got to meet a lot of cool people like that.
Now, have you ever ran across some assholes? Oh, sorry, Arden, my editor.
Oh,
that's gonna be beeped out.
Douchebags.
Yeah,
Go with douchebags.
Mean people, meaners.
That's so close to wieners.
He said it, not me.
My name's Dick.
But like,
Hello.
I know, right? But have you ever encountered someone that's not so friendly? In the
I don't mind.
atmosphere?
I don't mind calling them out because most of the ones who I met that were terrible were one-hit wonders. I don't know what it is about these one-hit wonder people. They have the biggest ego for some reason. And the one who I met that had a giant ego was Kilo. I don't know if you guys remember Kilo.
Oh.
Elbows up.
Yes.
That guy. That dude was such a meanie.
You're meaner.
He was a meaner, as she put it. He was a meaner. He was just very. I
wonder if they only get those one-hit wonders because of their egos. Maybe no one wants to work with them.
That's exactly why you establish a bad reputation.
Yeah.
Because think about it. It's all like in any industry, especially entertainment. It's about networking.
Yeah, it is about
know?
connections
Yeah,
and building together.
In music in particular, though, I think that's the difference between music and comedy. This is why I've gravitated more to comedy than I have music over the years. Because in music, if you piss the wrong people off, the
You're
wrong
done.
person, they can end your career like that. Like you're done. You're not. I mean, you probably will still get some stuff, but nowhere near as far as.
But you're only going to go to a certain level.
Exactly, because they can shut you down.
Yeah.
You know, in comedy, it doesn't work that way.
No.
In comedy, I can go at it with like the biggest comedian, and it doesn't hurt either of us. I could still get work. I can still get jobs. I can do my own.
And sometimes, on the contrary, it catapults you.
Oh, I mean, look
when
at
you have beef amongst each other.
Look at the Ralph Barbosa thing that recently happened with George Lopez. It was a giant misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But because the way people listened to it and the way it was presented, it was so misconstrued, and it made Lopez look bad, even though. If you actually took the time to watch it, because I did.
The whole thing,
The whole thing. He didn't really say anything terrible. You know, it was just comics being comics.
Yeah.
And, but Ralph, look what it did for his career. And kudos to him.
Everyone's looking him up. Who is this guy?
Him
right?
And, Steve Trevino, but controversy can help, especially in comedy. And it's not like George is going to be hurting for money anyway.
No, he's fine.
He's fine.
He doesn't care if people unfollow him. He's got enough.
I mean, you know what I mean? He's got TV shows. They're syndicated. The guy sells out everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He gives a
No.
So,
Arden's got a lot of work ahead of him.
my
with
bad.
this one.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I'm going to do my best. But it's just things like that. That's what I like about comedy.
Yeah.
Where it's the last place, in my opinion, in entertainment and I would say in society in general, where you should not only still be able to express what you need to express, but you shouldn't be afraid to.
Yeah.
First Amendment. I'm a big advocate of it.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't take, and you're going to a comedy show. Like, don't, wear your fragile sleeves that day. Do you know what I mean?
It happened last night.
Did you have, it happened last night for you?
Not for me. A show I was producing last night, one of my buddies was on, and somebody got offended to the point where, like, he wanted to fight. And
Oh, my goodness. He wanted to fight the comedian.
Yeah. So we had to get him to calm down, and he did at the end, but it was just, unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was very unnecessary.
At that point, you're like, is he really offended, or is it just the alcohol talking? Do you know what I mean? Or did he have a bad day at work?
Maybe just
personal.
bad choices in general.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say,
yes. So do you have any beef with anybody right now?
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So I personally don't have beef with people, but I know a lot of people that have beef with me.
We have some behind the scenes laughing.
Yeah.
I don't know any of this.
So Ryan knows this. If you guys hear laughing, he's another comic, so that's why bull, BS.
It's like, I don't know.
BS. He knows what's up.
Well, if you would like to share with me, you can.
No, I don't mind.
You're
It
going to be
doesn't
sharing
bother me
with
at all.
everybody.
No, it doesn't bother me at all. There's people that don't like me, and I'm very careful with my words. If you notice, I don't drop people's names often because I don't want to give them clout that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
What I will say is the majority of people that don't like me in the comedy game, it's usually for their own personal reasons. Whatever it was they misconstrued. Whatever it was that they construed in their minds about me.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere from they don't feel I deserve what I've accumulated so far in the short time I've been a comic. 'Cause I've been a comic for 5 years. And in the 5 years that I've been doing this, I've done pretty well for myself.
Yeah.
And some people don't feel that I deserve that. Some people don't like how I've moved as fast as I have, let's just say, in the comedy world. And it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And for all of them that do, just know I don't care.
I can feel his energy, and he doesn't
I really
care.
don't care I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Because that's not a good reason to not like somebody or to hate on somebody just because they've taken off so fast or whatever. And they don't see what you do behind the scenes to make those moves happen. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's part of it. And then I'm sure there's a couple people that have legitimate issues with me as far as maybe we had personal altercations, because there is a few. And to the ones that I actually don't like myself, I've already told them to their face.
Yeah.
That's the type of individual I am. If I don't like you, you don't have to ask anybody. I'm going to tell you.
Which is rare nowadays, because I feel like, I know some people that have beef with some people, and it's like, you have to scroll through the comments to find out that person has a problem with you. It's like coming straight to their face is so rare nowadays.
Yeah,
like, I think if you really have a problem with somebody, if it's a real problem, you would address them personally, head on.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this: you don't have a problem with me, or you don't have a problem with me if you don't have my phone number, if you don't have my email. If you can't contact me, then your problem isn't real enough with me.
Yeah.
Because that means you don't know me.
Yeah.
That's your own stuff.
Yeah, there's an issue within you.
You have a problem with the version you created of me.
Yes.
And I'm not responsible for that.
And that's a really hard place to get to. And I commend you for getting to that place. You know what I mean? Of not taking it personal and realizing like that's their problem.
Well, a lot of it has to do with therapy that I've been in. And then a lot of it also from the military, where I've learned how there's business and there's personal.
Yeah.
And for me, comedy is a business.
So when did you join the military, since we're going to talk about that?
2010.
Okay.
That was right at the beginning of 2010. January was when I went to boot camp, and I got out in either June 2017 or June 2018. I can't remember.
So you're in a band in 2005.
Yeah.
Shaking hands and turning down coke from Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
How does it go from that to now you're in boot camp?
You know what? I've been asked that I can't tell you how many times, and I wish I can give you a great answer and be like, it was a dream, and there was a cloud. And no, literally what happened is the recession happened in 2008. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
It was a crazy time. I couldn't find work for like almost over a year.
Wow.
I'd find these temp jobs, but nothing great. And I was doing acting at the time, and I just left the band right around that time too. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do from here.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't keep doing this. I was 24 at the time, and I remember there was this commercial, this marine commercial, where there was this guy climbing up a mountain. If you remember, and then he gets to the top and he pulls out a sword and he fights a dragon. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
commercial.
yes, vaguely.
Okay, so I was watching that commercial and I was very high at the time. I smoke a lot of weed and I eat a lot of edibles. All right. And at the time, I'm with my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife later, not my ex-wife. But we're watching this commercial, and I remember seeing that, and I'm like, "That's what I want to do." And she was like, "You want to fight a dragon? They're not real." And I was like, "It's the metaphor, genius.
Yeah.
You need to hit this, because I understood, So anyway, but I meant it. Like, I'm like, let's go.
I'm going to do it.
And she was like, okay, well, I'll take you. No, I meant, let's go right now.
Yeah.
So literally that same moment, we got in her car. She drove me to the recruiter's office. I smoked another bowl before I walked in. That is true. And I went into the recruiter's office.
You got those weed wings on.
I had to. And then I still remember my recruiter. He was like, one of the questions they asked you to screen you is they're like, okay, how many drugs, what kind of drugs have you done? And it's like, oh, I've never done drugs. I just smoke weed. She's like, okay. How many times do you smoke weed? I'm like,
Today?
This week?
Right now?
He's like, just in general, overall. I'm like, look, I'm not a mathematician, bro. That's like asking me how many times I've jacked off. You don't want to know the answer, and I don't know it either. So, no, and then he was like, okay, when's the last time you smoked? I'm like, dude, I just smoked in the car walking in here. And he was like, we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he's like, we have a lot of work to do. And, a couple months later, I shipped to boot camp. It was like 2 months later.
Wow.
I shipped to boot camp.
So which branch did you join?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
United States Marine Corps. Yeah, that's right. Devil
Nice.
Dog.
Yes, I have a Marine. I produced a Marine myself, and I have Marines in my family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my dad was in the Army.
Oh, that's cute.
Exactly.
Look, God created Marines because the Army needed heroes. So you're welcome for my service, Army.
I love the rivalry between the two and the shit talking. It's awesome.
All of us. I mean, all the branches. We all talk trash to each other. Even the Coast Guard.
Yeah. So what was that like? A comedian, a musician. Yeah. You were a musician now in Marine boot camp.
It got me in trouble. It got me in trouble a lot because when the drill instructors found out that I could sing and I could rap, they started making me come up with stuff. So like one time I remember I got in trouble in boot camp, and they make you clean your canteen, right? So you have to put bleach in them and water, and then you have to shake it, right? So what my drill instructor had me do, because I don't know, he was bored or whatever, I had to sing "Shake It Like a Salt Shaker" while holding these canteens. And I'm like this, shake it like a soul, shake it like a soul. Yeah, and he's just right there, and he brings all the drill instructors out. He's like, Salas, put on a concert, aye, sir. And I'm like, shake it. And then,
oh my gosh.
And then they'd be like, change the song, and then the drill instructor would throw out a song, and I'd have to sing whatever song it was. So yeah, that was fun.
Wow. Memories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great times.
Good fun memories.
Yeah.
What about some of the maybe not so good fun memories?
Boot camp.
Boot camp, yeah. Or even just serving your time.
Okay, well, so I have a joke that I won't go all into, but let's just say there's a reason my handle is not your typical veteran, because I don't have the typical PTSD.
Okay.
It's not the shootings and the craziness that affected me in the Marine Corps so much, because I grew up in East LA.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw that shit growing up.
Yeah, your skin was kind of thick before you even got there.
First time I saw somebody get killed in front of me, I was 5.
Wow.
So for me, it was kind of like, that's not what freaked me out. What freaked me out was seeing a grown-ass man eating his own shit.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, his own poop. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
and that happened over there?
In boot camp.
In boot camp.
In boot camp. Where that is not. That's a part of the joke.
Was that like they made him do that?
No, he chose to do that himself.
Oh.
This is not something
Sounds like he was.
No one in the military supports eating your own feces. That is not recommended.
Was he legit,
So,
5150, or was it something he was trying to do to get kicked out?
I don't know. I think it's both. I think you just hit a breaking point. And he hit his point where it was so bad. Okay, because in boot camp, screw it, I'll just say it. So in boot camp, when you go into the bathroom, right, we call it the heads, there's only toilets. There's no stalls, doors. It's just toilets.
Sounds like juvenile hall.
I've never been.
I've heard.
I would imagine. County's kind of the same way. I have been in the drunk tank, I could tell you that. So it's kind of similar. But it's the same toilet. Actually, that is not even a joke. It's the same toilets. And I remember I'm sitting there, and there's the other squad leaders are with me. There's 4 other guys in there. And the dude, for whatever reason, decides to sit directly across me.
Eye contact.
And he's like, pull his pants down. He's looking at me. He's making eye contact. Waits till I make eye contact.
While he's going potty.
He's waiting.
Oh.
Until I make eye contact, and then all of a sudden I see this.
Stop it.
And I'm just like, what is he doing? And then all of a sudden he goes,
oh my God. Stop. You didn't look away?
Didn't we just talk about earlier?
We did off camera. We did. You can't look away.
You just can't look away
Yeah,
from.
we did. But I would have looked away from that.
How?
I don't know.
It's not like we
I would have been like an ostrich and buried my head.
What? You gonna look down at your own turn? what?
Maybe.
What?
Okay, so that is what traumatized you.
Yeah. Well, what did it traumatize you?
Well, you can't unsee it.
No, there are some.
I would like to think that I would look away, Dick. I would look away, not make eye contact with it.
You know what? Everybody wants to think that.
I know. You don't know. It's like the fight or flight. You don't know until you're in the situation.
Well, how are you going to fight a guy?
Well, you didn't. You didn't fight that.
I was going to lose that fight.
Yeah, you were.
Even if I win, I lose.
You lost that
I get pink eye at the end of the fight. No, or dysentery, which is even worse.
Oh my God.
So you
can't unsee that moment.
No,
that is like stuck with you for life.
That's why, look, like I said, I have weird PTSD, so when I see people eating chocolate bars or Snickers.
Are you being serious right now?
Yes.
Now I feel weird making eye contact with you.
Yeah, exactly, with my fake glasses.
Sit on these.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can't, that is traumatic.
That's nightmare fuel. Yeah.
Do you know what happened to him after that?
3 days later, he was home. That's the fastest anyone has ever left boot camp in the history of the military.
Wow.
And I was there for 9 months myself. No, 7 months, so I can tell you. Yeah.
Wow. Do you know what's happened to him since? Where is he?
No idea. I don't know.
Making a Snickers commercial somewhere? Maybe. I don't know.
I want to think he is in a happy place, in some kind of
padded room. Yeah.
Where they keep candy bars as far away from him as possible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's kind of, people always want me to talk about the crazy stuff. I'm like, look, I am.
That is nuts. You can't unsee that. I can't unhear that.
I can't unsee. It's going through my head right now if we're talking. I'm literally just seeing this. I have to call my therapist after. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. That's what we do here.
Yeah. Right? Blame her.
So from I don't know how we transition that, but
either.
we're gonna try.
I have no idea.
So he goes from you're a musician, rock star. You know, enlist in the Marines.
Yeah.
And from there, we're gonna take a really quick break. When we come back, I want to find out how and when you became a comedian.
Got it.
Okay, and during the break, you guys are going to get to see a little tidbit of what Dick does on stage without candy bars.
And the date went really well. It went so well that at the end of the day, she looked at me and she said, I'm going to pull out my teeth. And I was like, wow. And she's like, when I do, I want you to treat my mouth like it's a and then she went, go!
Yeah, Dick. My teeth come out at night.
Only wanna share with y'all like a bird have a bed for y'all.
And we are back from our break. I hope you guys enjoyed those couple minutes of Dick on stage. So speaking of stage, we've gone through your childhood. We've gone through your teenage life, your life as a musician, your life as a Marine in boot camp, which we will not be touching back on. We will not be rounding back to that. So I'm good.
Okay. So am I.
There's very rare moments in life that I'm like, why did you ask that question? And that was one of them that's going to stick with me forever. So I will never look at a Snickers the same again.
How do you think I feel?
I know. Okay, so how did, Dick the comedian come to be?
So it came to be where I just got out of the Marine Corps. And I think it was 5 months after I got out, something like that.
Yeah.
Where I found myself in a very weird place in life. I wish this was a fun part of the story, but it's not.
Okay.
I was homeless for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do. I was off my meds. And the VA wasn't taking care of me the way they were supposed to yet. And in that time, I needed outlets.
Yeah.
So I was trying everything. I mean, I tried every hobby possible. I like woodworking. I tried freaking coloring books.
Yeah.
I tried puzzles. I mean, I think everything that you could possibly do that was cheap and affordable, I did.
You tried it, yeah.
I tried it all, and none of it worked for me.
Okay.
Not a single thing. And then what did work was going to the gym, slowly kind of working myself back, because I weighed 280 pounds at the time.
I cannot even picture that.
Yeah.
You weighed 280 pounds.
280 pounds.
At your heaviest.
Yeah, that was my heaviest.
Holy moly.
And I lost 110 pounds in 9-10 months.
Dang.
Yeah.
Just gym and eating right.
Gym, eating right.
I just want to make sure you didn't run back into Jack.
No.
Okay.
No, I've never.
Find out.
No, I wish it was that. No, but it was just eating right, working out right, listening to my body.
Yeah.
Doing the actual research on like biology and like kinesiology, and just figuring out how my body worked, and really taking the chance to like rediscover myself.
Yeah, deeper.
Yeah.
Just like not everyone learns the same way. It's the same thing with our bodies. We don't all lose weight the same way. We don't all tone the same way. We have to adjust our diet to our specific bodies.
That, and then the older you get, you have to take that into account as well. So I did a lot of that work. I ended up becoming a personal trainer.
Good for you.
It was during that time, though, like I'm trying to figure out these hobbies where, as weird as this sounds, my girlfriend at the time, she got hit up by this random comedian. His name is Joshua Higuera, who I'm now really good friends with. Right? And he hit her up randomly on like Facebook or something. He's like, hey, I'm doing a show at the Irvine Improv. You guys want to come? We'll give you free tickets, blah, 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 blah. And my girlfriend was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it, let's go. So I went, and it was him, it was Julio Gonzalez, Jen Murphy, and he was hosting. And I remember he comes out, and he's in this boot, because he just had surgery.
Yeah,
right?
I know that boot.
Yeah, you know the boot. So he was in the boot, and he comes on stage like that. And I was like, who is this with the broken nose coming down on stage, right? And he's doing his thing, and I'm watching, and then he says he's an Army veteran. And I was like, okay, I'm a Marine. I know I'm already better than this guy, you know? And,
This guy.
long story short, though, it was because of that show. I was like, I think I can do this. Because I saw him, I saw Julio do it, I saw Jen. I'm like, Julio looks like my cousin. You know, because, he
We could be family.
Yeah, I'm like, that fool looks like my cousin. He probably owes me money, you know. And then from there, I remember I went to one other show, and it was Cisco Duran, Carlos Mencia, and there was this other guy whose name escapes me at the moment.
Now, was that your first like comic show you went to?
No. I've gone to comedy shows before, but this was the first one that I went to post military.
Post-military, yeah.
Yeah, post-military. And I remember I go to that second show, and I see Cisco Duran, I see Carlos Mencia. And I remember after they all get on stage and the other comic, they get on stage and for 2 hours, they're just shooting, they're just talking to the crowd. And for like, I remember there was a good part of that 2 hour bit where it was just me and them talking for like 10 minutes, just back and forth with all three of them.
Ranting, just both of you guys.
Going off. We were just shooting each other. At the end, they're like, "Are you a comic?" And I was like, "No, I'm a normal person, just trying to be funny." Yeah. And then they're like, and then after I talked to Cisco after the show, and I was like, "Hey man, I've been thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
How would I get involved? How would I get it?" And I will never forget what he told me. And it's the same advice I've given every other person that's hit me up. Find an open mic, get on stage, and just open your mouth and do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's that simple? He's like, you'll know if it's for you or not.
Yeah.
And so I did. I found an open mic, and it was in LA. It was at the Tao. I'll never forget it, in LA. That was the first place I ever went up and did comedy. And I still have that set recorded, and it is terrible. It is. I don't know why they laughed. I think it was because it was my first time. The Tao's such a welcoming place.
It was like sympathy laughs?
Well, everybody in there was a comic, number one. So, yeah. But I think it was just sympathy laughs. Like, oh, he's trying. That's cute.
Oh, cute.
You know?
Yeah.
And but I remember doing that set, and then I went up 2 other times that night in different places. I got the bug.
Oh, yeah.
I just knew, and then I've been at it ever since then. And I did my first show 2 years later. I waited a long time to do shows just because of my experience from music, what it taught me in producing. And so after about 2 years in comedy, 2.5 years, the pandemic hit right when I started to do shows. And then I had to wait another year because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the pandemic was over, I don't know, like literally as soon as it was like people were coming back and stuff, within a month I was back on stage, just doing open mics. And then it took 6 months later for me to actually do shows, like to do my first real show again. And then ever since then, now then the Court of Comics became a thing, COC. Now a year and a half later, we are the biggest comedy producers outside of Hollywood.
Nice. And you guys are mainly in like the IE, right?
No, we started in the IE.
Okay,
we started in the IE, but we actually don't have any shows in the IE right now, which is weird. Our closest IE show is in Ontario, which is at Firewater Bar. We had one last night. I have shows out in Temecula at Bastard's Canteen. It's an amazing venue. We do comedy for a cause there, where we partner with a veterans charity called Save the Brave.
That's beautiful.
We've done,
And you said comedy for a cause.
Comedy for a cause. I want you, Bastard's Canteen in Temecula. Check them out. We also do a show in Chino at INI, so I guess that would be the closest IE location. And then we do another one in why is it escape? Orange, here in the city of Orange. And then Lancaster, we're working out with the VFWs, Montebello.
And those are all shows that you produce?
All of them I produce.
And when you say produce, it means you pick the comics that are going to come on and what order they're going to be in?
Yeah. Most of the time, it's either me or my buddy Corey hosting. Joshua Higuera, the guy I mentioned, he's kind of he's an official, unofficial member, so to speak. He helps us out a lot. The guy's really helped me grow as a comedian, push me to that next level. And that's what we do. We just produce shows. We take them. I'll reach out to comics, work out the deals with everybody, work out the deals with the venue, get that all. I help I do the flyers. Something
tells me that whatever you try, Dick, you can do. Do you mean you're one of those guys? You know what I mean? Like, and I have one of those. My son, who's 22, it's like, I want to learn how to play the guitar. Bam, he's playing a song. I feel like you're one of those people too that just, if you try it and you really want it, you put your mind to it, you can execute it, you can make it happen.
Yes, to an extent. There are some things I don't think I will ever be able to do well, but I can do decently. Like, one thing I know I can't do, like I can do decent, is play guitar. Just when you bring that up. I can do basic guitar, but you ask me to do a solo,
not happening.
You know what I mean? Like, no, you just, no, let's just listen to, music. But, pretty much anything. I think the confidence comes from not just the military background, but also from the fact of my upbringing.
Yes.
Where I've had to do and see some crazy things. I've had to live through all those experiences.
Yeah.
I've learned from them.
You've been put in awkward situations and you've rised above it.
I've had to.
You've had
It's
to
either
climb
sink or
above
swim.
it.
It's either sink or swim.
Exactly.
That's why when you asked earlier about who has beef with you and whatnot, for me, it's one of those where I purposely think about what it is I say and do.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there is more positive than negative. And I want to focus on, I've done enough negative things in my life. There's enough negativity out in the world.
Yes.
And I believe in karma.
Yeah, what you put out in the world, it finds its way back to you.
Well, you have Isaac Newton's third law of thermodynamics, which is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If that's not karma, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So do you believe in affirmations and do you believe in manifestation?
To an extent. I think you need to be realistic with your affirmations and your manifestations. Because I've heard chicks who are like, I'm going to manifest Chris Hemsworth. And I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You are not.
You've got to put yourself in his world if you want to meet him.
Yeah, like, come on. We all want to be worthy.
No, but it's true. I see these, TikToks and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, well, you can, manifest it all you want, but you got to put a little bit of elbow grease into it.
Well,
you got to,
That's, I think, the biggest part of the formula is you have to be willing to put in the hard work.
Yeah.
And that's so undervalued today in today's society where everybody wants instant gratification.
Yes.
Like if you notice what I told you, it took me 2 years to do my first show. And then it was 6 months, 6 months after the pandemic was when we started producing and we started getting things going.
Yeah.
But I waited that time specifically because I didn't want to have a bad stigma to my name. I was like, he's not funny, he's just a producer. I wanted to get funny before I started doing things. I wanted to make sure that I was decent in the craft before I started approaching people who were masters of it. And in that time that I've been doing it now 3 years later, I mean, look where we are.
Yeah.
I'm here talking to you.
Exactly. So what is the immediate goal right now for you?
The immediate goal right now for me is, I guess, personally, it's to get funnier, obviously. But I'm working right now. I'm already at like 45 minutes of material, so I'm trying to get my first hour, but I want to get it tight and solidified. So, that's kind of the first goal. And then the next goal personally is, what I really want to do is I want to help veterans more because that's personal to me. And I've done a lot. Yeah. But what I want to do, I want to do something really big and I want to do something practical. So I'm working on that right now with Chicano Hollywood, where me and Johnny have been talking about some ideas. And then I'm going to be reaching out to some of my other venues and stuff to try to build something that's really going to make an impact. Yeah. Not just for vets, but even for people in general who are just struggling with mental health issues and whatnot. I'm a big advocate of that. So that's where my focus is personally. Professionally with COC and the Court of Comics, we want to keep growing our shows, growing our brand. We're transitioning to that next level where we're going to be focusing more on causes for our comedy and clubs and really kind of trying to better not just the organizations and charity we're helping with, but the comedy scene in general. Yeah. Because I'm sure, as you know, it's a pretty toxic place, the scene. It is. And ever since we came in, we've changed the game. We've tried to make it better. And I think for the most part, we've been succeeding. Yeah, a little bit healthier. Oh, it is. We foster good conversation. We make sure our talent is safe. Everyone gets paid at our shows, which is crazy. Sometimes it's unheard of. It is. And then we don't book like 15 comics on our shows. No offense to the people that do, but that's a dumb idea. We keep it at 5-6 comics max. We want quality versus quantity. Yes, we want to give people a good show where they want to keep coming back because you can pay for the dime a dozen shows. Yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, you go to Hollywood, literally go down any block. There's like 50 of them happening all at the same night. Yeah, but there's a reason why people keep coming to ours. There's a reason why people enjoy it. The comics enjoy it. The talent enjoys it. The fans, the venues. And that's COC's goal is just to be the not only the predominant producer of comedy in general, not just stand-up comedy in general, but also a place where talent, fans, venues know that they're going to be getting quality and people that care. Yeah, and that the comedians are going to be taken care of. And are funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's one of the big parts about being a comedian. Is kind of got to be funny. That's kind of the name of the game.
So being the producer, do you get on stage during your shows and host it?
I'm a co-producer as well. I have my buddy Corey Baldwin, who's also he's the other half of COC. Yeah, we switch off on hosting duties. Sometimes we don't even host. Sometimes we won't even be on our own show. We'll just be there just to make sure it happens because it's not about us. COC is not a self-glorifying
Team
entity.
production,
It's about making the scene better, making the show the best it could be, and if that involves not being directly on stage, we don't mind it.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's about making sure that the people that deserve the opportunities are getting them. They're getting paid what. I wish I could pay everyone what they're worth.
Yeah.
But we pay them what we're able to, so that at least you get your drink or two, and you get some gas money.
Yeah.
You know.
Anything is better than nothing, and it shows that you care, and that you want to give them more, and that their time is valuable. Time is so important.
That's why for me, I make it a point to. It doesn't matter where I work, who I work. It could be an open micer to a headliner. Like Jeff Garcia and all these other cats. You're all gonna get taken care of.
Yeah.
And I treat headliners the same way I treat my openers.
Is there any comedians out there that you haven't met yet that you'd like to meet?
Oh, there's a bunch. Really, who I actually really want to meet. One of my, I guess, I don't know if he's a comedy idol, but I would have to say he's definitely someone that I really admire as a comedian. Bill Burr. I would love to meet Bill Burr.
Oh yeah.
Gabriel Iglesias. He's actually responded to my some of the tags that I do in,
that's
my stories.
Nice. Yeah.
So, dude, I've screenshotted those. So if you want to eat some tacos, let me know if you ever watch this.
We love you, Fluffy.
I'm just saying, I do. I love Fluffy too. But no, but then I also want to meet, kind of, I guess, more local to home would be. I'm a huge fan of Jerry Garcia. I just saw him the other day. We kind of met, but not really. But he was at a show.
Really quick.
Really quick, but I didn't get. But I'm a big fan of his. I'm also a fan of what's his name? Man, who haven't I met? I'm just trying to think of the people that I haven't met because I've had the opportunity to meet so many great comedians. I'm a big fan of Patton Oswalt. I'm a big fan of even George Lopez. Obviously, that guy just really pushed me as a comedian. Just watching being a Latino, being one of the first to make it to the
seeing someone that looks like you on stage and on TV.
Yeah, that changed the game for me personally growing up because I remember watching comedy, for years, and now the fact that I'm getting on stage with some of my heroes like Jeff Garcia. I remember seeing him as a kid. I remember seeing freaking Joey Medina, the Latino Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I've done shows with Joey. I've done shows with Jeff. And I've had the opportunity to meet some of these great comedians who inspired me.
It's beautiful. It's like a full circle.
It is.
And now you're out there inspiring people and meeting people. How do you deal with fans?
As long as they're cool. Yeah. If you're cool, I'm a mirror with everybody. I'm a mirror. So whatever you give me, that's what I give you back. So if you give me respect, I give you that back. If you give me disrespect, I'm going to give it back. My name's Dick. I'm as hard or soft as you make.
Now, is that on your birth certificate or is it Richard or Ricardo?
My grandfather was Ricardo. So legally, my name is Richard, but it's not my only first name. That's the crazy part. I have two first names like a Mexican.
Yeah.
So it's Richard Steven. No one ever calls me that. And if you do, we're gonna have problems.
That means you're in trouble somehow.
That means I'm going to court and I have to see a judge.
Yeah.
Dick came about because actually that 2-year mark in comedy where I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I remember thinking to myself, you know what? Because I've always said I'm a mirror, and and I always tell people look, you go by Dick because you think you're hard, and I'm like, no, dude, think about this.
No.
Dicks, we're often a lot more soft.
It's gonna be so much
than we are hard.
This is true.
Well, okay, my name.
Yes, your name.
My name. If you think about what it means, we're not hard all the time. You can't be.
No.
Right?
Exactly.
So I'm as hard
we need to sleep sometimes.
I'm as hard as you make me, and that's just that's why I went by the name.
Yeah. No, I love that. You know, I've got a Dickie in my family. I've got an Uncle Dickie in my family. I get it.
Isn't
for
that
sure.
a movie, Uncle Dickie? Or no, Little Dickie, right? Little Dickie, right?
It is. Oh my gosh. So when is your next show that you're producing?
That I'm producing. Okay, so I think I want to say, I know we have a show. April 6th here in Chino at Chasers. We're producing a show there. April 7th, I'm producing a show in Chino, but I'm also going to be headlining a show out in Lompoc. April 8th, I want to say I'm going to be in Lancaster doing a veterans charity event where we're raising money, not just for vets, but also suicide awareness. It's my second year hosting that, so I'm really excited for that. Just check out my dates and calendars. I know I'm going to be in Hollywood on the 14th at the Hollywood Comedy. I have Bastard's Canteen again, Temecula Comedy for a Cause on the 15th of Stoner Rob, and just
he's awesome. So you talked about that you wanted to get stoned with Be Real. My goal is to get stoned with Stoner Rob.
I have smoked plenty of times with both of those guys.
Nice.
Stoner Rob and Be Real. Next time when Stoner Rob's in town, let me know. I'll let you know, and if you want to come smoke with
he's going to be on the show. I don't know if we're going to him or if he's coming to us. We're going to work it all out, but that is what's going to go down.
Make him come to you.
Make him come to me.
Make him come to you. He owes me money. No, you owe me weed, bro. No, anyway,
so we'll see what we do. But everyone will see your tag below your name so they can follow you and see all those dates there for themselves, just in case we got some of them wrong. And you said you're going to be headlining a couple of those shows that you spoke about, right?
April 7th, I'm in Lompoc. I'm actually with my buddy Joshua Higuera on the show. He's featuring for that one. We switch off.
That's cool. Teamwork,
yeah, it is. The guy, he's way funnier than me. I'll admit it. He is. He really is a lot funnier. He's been doing it longer. He's been such a great mentor to me and such a great just partner in pushing me in comedy. So,
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dick, for being here.
Thank you.
It was so great.
You were great. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all.
Yes, and you guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave us a comment, follow Mr. Dick, the comedian. How do you say the last name again?
Salas.
Follow Mr. Dick Salas, please, for more of his shows and dates. And if you follow us, send us a message, but make sure you kiss it. Keep it simple, sexy.
That's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do. It goes, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Keep your iceberg, step chair, bring the heat. Classes in session, everybody take a seat.